Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are joining Glenn Foley, his son Tristan, and the Dirt and Trail gang, starting at Linex Linwood in Pretoria, where we are grabbing not one, but two motorcycles. These. They are both Yamaha Ténéré 700s, a 2024 model in dark blue, and the updated 2025 version in a fetching retro turquoise. Our main goal is to find out how much of a difference there is between the two. So let's start with the 2024.
Okay, here we go. Turn down the ignition. So the previous bike had a, like an LCD screen. Now they've changed this TFT one, which is very lovely and all. Although it received some criticism because the original T7, we called it T7, the correct name is Ténéré 700, but we call it a T7 because quite frankly it's 4 syllables less, and think how much time you knock off, your life. You can take up some more hobbies, with all the extra time you have. But the original T7, what it did, the original T7 was famous for having no electronics, literally none, because even in the time of an electronic world, it was sort of marketed as very simple, very easy, and people liked that. However, it had like an LCD screen, not a TFT, but an LCD screen is just as difficult to fix as a TFT, so why not?
Indeed, since the first model in 2019, the T7 has been known as a simple, dirt-friendly adventure machine, with a vertical front resembling the much-coveted Dakar Rally racers. And apart from the new dash, it's still very much a simple dirt-focused machine.
This is very much the sort of connoisseur's sort of dirt adventure bike. Very, very simple. So like this bike, for example, has got no traction control. It's got ABS because it has to. There's a button over there to turn it off. No traction control, no rider modes, no nothing. There's cables running from the throttle to the fuel injection butterflies, which is very rare these days. And apart from that, it's like flickers. That's it.
The motor is much the same as that in the MT-07. It's a parallel twin with 689 cc's that pushes 73 horsepower and 67 Nm of torque.
Oh, that motor's lovely. Now it's got this aftermarket exhaust in it. Obviously an aftermarket exhaust adds a sort of a character to the motorcycle. It gets all your sort of happy juices flowing. And it's a lot of loveliness. This motor is incredible. It's so smooth. It just feels like such a quality piece of kit, the entire thing. When you ride it on the tar road, it's just so smooth and effortless. There's absolutely no vibration through the handlebars, nothing whatsoever. And you can kind of feel it. Obviously now I'm going over bumps and things like that, so I can feel it. But it's just so like, as you sort of hit the throttle, it just picks up like nothing. It's not the fastest motorcycle. Top speed's 180, 190, somewhere around there. But it's enough. It's just enough, You open the throttle, it's peppy, and it picks up, and it wheel spins, and it snarls. But not like in a way that just definitely wants to kill you. Which is nice, we like it like that.
The frame is the steel cradle sort, with a backbone much like a traditional motocross bike. The off-road focused suspension has 210mm of travel in the front and 200mm in the rear, which is quite a bit of suspension. The wheels are of course spoked, with a big 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear, the larger rear option for better rolling over bumps.
One thing though is that the suspension, for all its travel and everything like that, it feels kind of hard. You hit bumps, you really kind of feel the bumps as you go over them. And I suspect that has something to do with the fact that this is built for the more kind of experienced off-road rider, and because of that, it'd rather be able to hit bumps hard than be totally comfortable, because comfortable suspension, when you start hitting bumps hard, tends to get overwhelmed. It tends to bottom out and all of that. So with this, they've I suspect they've set it up to be able to hit big bumps very hard. this bike feels balanced. Now, balanced is a very sort of pretentious word, you know, it's like, hey, dude, so like balanced and stuff, man. But what I mean by that is honestly, you're riding along and it feels very sort of secure on its feet, if that makes sense. It feels like it's very sort of on like track. It's very light to turn. So I'll get to a corner, I'll flip it in like this, like absolutely nothing, accelerate like nothing. But when you're up straight, it really is kind of solidly up straight. It feels very sort of like they really took care of making sure that the weight distribution was exactly right. I mean, more side to side. And it's actually remarkable how good this thing is.
While the 2024 model certainly impresses, let's see how we get on with the 2025. Now the big difference is that the cable throttle has been replaced by a ride-by-wire setup. That means that Yamaha has somewhat shunned the zero electronic direction for, well, electronics.
Alright, 2025 model. There we go. That's kind of tall, but not that tall. Okay, first thing we do is go rider mode. There it's got sport. I'm not doing sport right now. So we're gonna go to explore. ABS on, TCS on. Yeah, let's leave it there for now. Okay, let's start up and go. It's also got a nice exhaust. There you go. You see, you got a different dash. In fact, it's got a different mode. If I can just figure out how to get there. In fact, it's got a different mode. You can go here, themes. You know, down the street. And there we go. See, it's a bit different. I kind of prefer this one, if I'm honest, but you know, that's up to you.
It makes sense to choose the Explorer mode with a softer throttle response that should suit riding in the dirt, right?
Alright, now, so I've got it in the Explorer. That softens the rider mode. And to be honest with you, it feels kind of nanny-ish. It feels like it's kind of, yeah, it's got a kind of a nanny, a kind of a mommying me. Like, I open the throttle and it's like, no, 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 not like that. No. Easy there. And I'm like, no, but I want to go fast. And it's going, no, no. And then I open the throttle and, oh. Oh, feel that. That's traction control. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like I've just gotten off that the 2024 with no electronics, and it was just growling and angry and fun and excitable. This is kind of no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the mode button. I'm gonna go down to sport. Then I'm gonna go ABS. Go off. It's got a different joystick. You see, it's got like a joystick kind of setup on this one. It's easier to feel when you're riding. So there we go, all of that is off. And let's go. Okay, let's feel it now. We're in sport mode. Off. Haha. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Now it feels very similar to the 2024 bike. Now the 2024 bike uses a cable, so it's literally 1-to-1. Whereas this one, it's so... What it is, it's got a wire that goes to the butterflies, and that interprets your throttle, and then it works the butterfly accordingly. Now here's the thing, right? The original T7 was no electronics, nothing can go wrong. I mean, quite frankly, if you're in the middle of nowhere and something mechanical goes wrong, good chance you might be able to fix it using a piece of wire from a fence and a rock. Whereas if an electronic thing goes wrong, you need a pimple-nosed person with a laptop. However, how many times have you heard of a cable snapping, like a clutch cable, throttle cable? Yeah, we've all heard of those things. How many times have you heard of a wire going between the throttle and the fuel injection going wrong? Never. Never. It's a non-stressed item. So, you know, there is that.
The motor, frame and suspension are much the same as the 2024 model, except the motor is now Euro 5 Plus compliant, a huge undertaking for the engineers at the factory. The air intake is different, the gear change is smoother, and the clutch cover has now been redesigned to give the rider more legroom. The result is that the motor now pushes, well, 1 less horsepower, but it also pushes 1 more Newton meters of torque. Plus, Yamaha says that the entire torque curve has improved. Sounds fun. Although the Euro 5 Plus alterations have also made the bike a little heavier. 208 kilograms with all fluids. That's 4 more than the 2024 bike. Although Yamaha have made up for this by moving the fuel tank further forward and making it lower, changing the weight distribution and giving the rider more room. Also, the new seat is flatter and narrower, giving even more room and letting the rider touch the ground more easily. Apart from that, the front forks also feature a preload adjuster for people who understand that sort of thing.
This bike feels a little bit smaller, so like the seat feels slightly narrower. Glenn originally points out, I didn't pick it up at first, but now I do feel it. It feels maybe a little bit lower, so there's more room to move. The downside is it's not the most comfortable seat in the world. But then again, this is a bike designed on it really more for the kind of off-roady kind of person. More, I guess, than the person who wants to go 12 hours in the saddle doing the long roads. Again, the great part about a motocross seat, it gives you lots of room to move. And then when you stand up, there's lots of room between your knees. So the bike can move around. Because, I mean, that really is the point of I know there's people have a million theories, blah, blah, but whatever. The real point of standing is that the bike can move independently of your body. So when you're hitting ruts and rocks and things, there's less inertia. You take your body weight out of the inertia, and then it becomes, the bike's able to move a lot better. And with a lot of space between your knees, the bike can move more independently from its rider.
This is all good and well, but nothing is ever perfect. While Yamaha was adding electronics, what's wrong with popping on the best electronic gadget ever made? A quick shifter. Then we get to the price. Yamaha still does have stock of the 2024 model, but you better hurry before those go. It'll set you back 225,000 Rand, which is not a little bit of money, especially for a bike in the smaller 700cc class. Although building an off-road bike with a big engine costs money. Not as much as building the 2025 model with its Euro 5 Plus goods. That will set you back 260,000 Rand.
So here's the thing, this is the 2025 bike, it's a bit more expensive, it's about 10% more expensive than the 2024. Is it worth it? Yeah. Okay, hang on, I wouldn't say sell your 2024 and buy one of these, like immediately. No, not quite. But if you haven't got one of these and you're interested, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. And I'll tell you why. We're riding on kind of a controlled environment, in a riding park, and for that you want a lot of excitement. If I were on a slippery gravel road in the rain at night time trying to reach my destination, I'd pull into full nanny mode and full ABS and full traction control, and I just want to get there. So it's nice that it has the option to do that. It really is nice, and this bike is a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more easier to get around on. And this is a great motorcycle. You forget how great this thing is. You get on it, it is fantastic.